I'm Christine Lisi. As we edge closer to tip-off of Game 2 of the Bucks Heat first-round NBA playoff series, Milwaukee is now listing power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo as questionable tonight with a back contusion. Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant, hand injury, game-time decision Game 2 tonight versus the Lakers, 7 Eastern ESPN radio. Excessive and over-the-top actions, conduct detrimental, and repeat offender history. NBA Executive VP Joe Dumars is telling ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski those were the reasons why the league suspended Warriors forward Draymond Green 1 game. Green disciplined for stepping on the chest of Sacramento's Domantas Sabonis in Game 2. The suspension could be a galvanizing moment for Golden State, though, believes ESPN's Monica McNutt.
The Warriors play notably better at home. Their defense, I believe, is top 5 rating at home. It's like 27th on the road. So I think the shooting falls. I think the defense shows up. Now, Draymond is absolutely a critical part of that defense, but just by the sheer fact that they are at home, you still have Steph, you still have Clay, you still have Gary Payton, guys that understand what is required in terms of winning.
Green serves the suspension tomorrow in Game 3.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
All anew.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Muse.
Hump day.
Yo!
You giving away the tickets for the rest of the season?
Yeah, man, it's done.
It's hump day.
Stick a fork in them.
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Finito.
Real shame, too.
Hump day.
Finished.
It's hump day.
Dunzo.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Gone pecan.
Hump day.
David Coleman looked good, though.
It's hump day.
Too bad.
Damn.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU targeting a portal offensive lineman.
Hump day.
Saints targeting a mid-round quarterback.
It's hump day.
Possible first-round trade brewing.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ooh, we got a lot to get to. So let's do it. All right. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. So LSU lost to ULL last night 8-5. I'm going to spare you the midweek games don't matter conversation because, quite honestly, if after 6 years you still don't understand the point I'm making, you are willfully ignorant, and it's not worth me having this conversation anymore. I actually came away from yesterday really, really excited. The game's what it is. Look, I mean, disappointing, yes. Riley Cooper gave up a 2-run yak, left a letter-high fastball on a 2-strike count. That sucked. You had Trey Morgan and Dylan Cruz both lose pop-ups in the sun or the setting sun or whatever was going on there. It sucked. Yeah, I mean, you'd love to win the game. You didn't. Okay. It's not going to cost you any of your goals and wasn't going to achieve you any of your goals, the result. What was massively significant about that game is Javen Coleman. We learned yesterday that Javen Coleman was going to get the ball. He was going to start for LSU, and he did. He was limited to 1 inning, which was the plan. He threw 16 pitches, and my goodness, it was so encouraging to watch. He went strikeout, fly out for a 3-up, 3-down first inning, and it wasn't just the result. It was also how it looked and how it came about. The first hitter, Coleman was down 3-1 in the count. Battled back to get the strikeout. Second hitter, he gets up 0-2. He wastes a couple. Try to put away pitch, got it to 95 miles an hour on an elevated fastball, and ultimately got the strikeout, and then got the lazy fly to right. It was so encouraging to see Javen Coleman on the mound, looking like he did, pitching effectively, and now you can start to think about what could possibly be with him and his role as we move forward. Here was Jay Johnson after the game last night on Javen Coleman's return.
Really awesome to see, for Javen. I know the work that he's put into it. Obviously a great development for our team. And again, as you said, Bill, I've never seen somebody return that quickly and return in that type of form. And, he got his surgery done and got to work and, even through a couple setbacks, to be honest with you, persevered through those, and so proud of him and happy for him. And like I said, happy for our team to have him available.
Let's hear, Javen Coleman did meet reporters after the game, so I'll get some of that here in a second. But I don't think you need me to spell this out for you. You understand it, but I'll say it for the sake of saying it. Injuries to your pitching staff have really threatened what this team can be. That and the disappointing performance of some guys, which we'll talk about that in a second as well. But Grant Taylor was going to start the season in your rotation, and really they had eyes on him being like a closer. Now, that was also during a point where we all thought Thatcher Hurd was going to be a weekend guy, and that hasn't really manifested. So it's plausible to say Grant Taylor was going to be a part of your weekend rotation. You lose him before the season starts. As the season goes along, you find something in Chase Shores, 6'8" freshman throwing 100, your best arm out of the bullpen, and Garrett Edwards, who had to earn a roster spot this year and was your first guy out of the bullpen. I mean, he was the guy you trusted most, and now you've lost both of those guys. Look, Jay was asked about injuries again. He was coy about them, saying no update. I'm going to tell you, I'm not expecting either of those guys to pitch again the rest of the year. Maybe there's some magical return and they surprise us all, and that would be wonderful. But I'm of the opinion, based on some of the conversations I had, you're not going to see Shores or Edwards this year. So now you're down 3 guys you were really counting on. You found Gavin Guidry, who's emerging into a really nice piece for you. Of course, Griffin Herring has been your most consistent arm from the left side. Nate Ackenhausen is going to come back, possibly as early as this weekend, which would be awesome to see. But, man, if you're able to add Javen Coleman to this mix, who last year would have been your best left-hander, and that's not even debatable, and now you're able to get him through the second half of conference play. 16 pitches yesterday. Let's see how they use him, how he feels coming off of that performance, if they're able to ramp him up, and maybe by the time he gets to the postseason, he's ready to extend and be a starter who can extend for you. Maybe he's the guy that's your number 2 behind, as you go into your, I'm trying to obviously, look, you hope Ty Floyd sticks and continues to pitch really well, but Paul Skeens is your anchor at the front of your rotation, tone setter for the weekend. But if it goes Skeens Coleman, maybe that's the answer. Maybe not, but maybe you've at least got reason to believe you've added another piece that's going to be valuable for you. So more than anything, man, more than the loss, more than anything about that game last night that you want to talk about, some of the missed opportunities with men on base, like the biggest takeaway of that game is Javen Coleman. A couple of other things from the game. By the way, Javen Coleman last night did meet with reporters after the game. He talked a little bit kind of about the emotion of being back out there on the mound.
Really exciting. It's definitely a lot different compared to the dugout on the field. But I was just really excited to be out there and actually be able to contribute to my team. And it was fun just to be out there with them again.
And they did ask him about, and this is a short answer, and again, it was right after the game, but how he feels physically after the outing.
Yeah, no, I feel great. No complaints, no pains, nothing. Ready to go.
Feel great. Now a big question is, how do you feel today? You wake up the next day, I mean, it's just 16 pitches. He had been throwing to live hitters prior, but it's different when you have different intensity of a game. Let's see how it goes. But that's fantastic news looking ahead. A couple of the other things in this ball game last night, if you want to look for takeaways, I think one thing that continues to be evident is the absence of Gavin Dugas. And maybe this is another one that feels a little obvious, but do you remember last week when we were talking about Jordan Thompson being your 8-hole hitter? Well, after the Dugas injury, Thompson's moved up in the lineup and actually hit cleanup for one game last weekend. What a luxury to have had Braden Jobert in the 7-hole and Jordan Thompson in the 8-hole. I mean, the bottom third of your lineup is incredible. Well, of course, Gavin Dugas forces this whole reshuffle, and those guys move up. And so now you look at the lineup, and you've got some outs in your lineup. If it's Merrifield or Napolt, I mean, those guys are outs in your lineup. Milazzo is hitting for a nice average, but he certainly doesn't have the home run potential, the power potential that Brady Neal does when he's in there. So it changes the shape of your lineup. So when you get Gavin Dugas back, obviously that's going to be huge. The game itself, obviously we talked about the bad luck in the fourth with the 2 fly balls. If you weren't watching the game, on consecutive hitters hit lazy flies to left and to left center, and Trey Morgan and Dylan Cruz, consecutive hitters, lost them in the night sky, like right during sunset. And I mean, it was just they never saw the ball off the bat. So poor Riley Cooper. I mean, he had induced some weak contact and wasn't rewarded for it. And in a really odd twist, because this is baseball, Trey Morgan then made a play running against the wall and caught a ball on a run, and then Braden Jobert caught a sinking liner on a dead sprint to get out of the inning. So your outfielders made 2 spectacular plays, but obviously because of the sky, couldn't come up with 2 routine flies. So anyway. And then maybe the other takeaway would be Thatcher Hurd, which I think we already knew, but every time he takes the ball, it just further cements what we know about him, which is he can't throw strikes. Had an error in the ball game, walked a couple, just recorded 1 out in the 5 hitters he faced, gave up a couple hits. So they've tried him in every role, as a midweek starter, as a weekend starter, as a back of the bullpen guy, as a first out of the bullpen guy, midweek, weekend. They tried everything, and no matter what role they put him in, when they put him in the game, he just struggles. And I'm not here to dogpile on him. He's a young guy. He's just a second-year player. And all the stuff is magnificent. I mean, you're throwing mid-90s with a wipeout slider. The stuff is great. He just doesn't command it. And if he can't, then you can't count on him. So hopefully at some point they can find a way to get something out of Thatcher Hurd this year. But as of right now, I don't know how you can proceed thinking you're going to get anything out of him. But the big takeaway, again, is Javen Coleman on the mound last night for the first time in more than a year. First time since Tommy John surgery. And boy, was it encouraging. All right, it is after further review. We're glad you're with us here around the SEC in about 15 minutes. Let's switch gears, talk a little LSU football when we come back. Tigers have offered an offensive lineman out of the transfer portal. I want to talk about it next and why it's big. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. I want to remind you again, as we creep closer to graduation season, every year Gordon, as part of his Gordon Gives, the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, he has a program he calls Gordon's Grads, and he gives away 12 laptops to graduates. So if you're a high school or a college graduate and you'd like to learn more about how you can enter and win, go to gordonsgrads.com. That's gordonsgrads.com. One other thing I'd love to remind you about, of course, April is Distracted Driver Awareness Month, and Gordon is using his socials all this month to give great legal tips about how to avoid distracted driving, and what happens and what you should do, like free legal advice if you do find yourself in some type of an incident. So if you're not yet, make sure you're following Gordon on all the social media accounts. It's at Get Gordon on every social media platform, at Get Gordon, or you can always go to getgordon.com. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, you need representation, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. and backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Call in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I missed this via the text line this morning at about 10:58. Greg Lehman said, Matt, we need a 15-minute rant about the loss to open the show. Not doing it. I've done it too many times. If you're still unaware at this point with what I mean by midweek games don't matter, you're never going to get it. So just whatever. Go Tigers. Bradley Hawthorne said, I don't know, Matt, do you really think Griffin Herring has been better from the left side than Riley Cooper? Absolutely. His stuff has been better and he has been more consistent. I'll give Riley Cooper credit. He looked good for the most part last night, but Jay Johnson answers your question every weekend when he goes to the bullpen, and the first guy he goes and gets is Griffin Herring. When you look at Game 2 Friday against Kentucky this past weekend, when they went and pulled Ty Floyd in the fifth with two men on, they went and got Griffin Herring. They didn't go get Riley Cooper. Riley Cooper right now is an innings eater in the midweek or whenever you need to get through something, but they are not putting him into high leverage situations because, quite honestly, it hasn't been very good this year. And Griffin Herring has a 2.63 ERA. Cooper's ERA is north of 6. He's got a 6.18 ERA. So, no, I don't even think that's debatable right now. Griffin Herring has been, Griffin Herring and Gavin Guidry are the two guys right now. If I need an out of my bullpen, I'm going to one of those guys. I can't even think of a of a reason to consider someone else in that spot right now. All right, if you want to text us, you can always text the show, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can text in the 225-396-4400, as I mentioned there, 396-4400. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They'll always sell you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. So get to ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab right there at the top, and you'll see all the specials they have going on right now. Look, the BF Goodrich spring promotion, you want to get all the deets on that. You can get it right now at ShawBillsTire.com, where you can save, man, look, all the details are there for you, but how you can save up to $210 right now. Get all the deets right now at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, where they treat you like family because they're family-owned and operated and have been for more than 50 years. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. So Brian Kelly, last week when he was meeting with reporters, was asked about the transfer portal. And he went through a couple of things. He said we could add it at lineman, we could add some spots on defense, but really what they were looking for was depth. I'm paraphrasing. As a matter of fact, Brian Kelly was on off the bench earlier today with Hester and T-Bob, and the guys did ask him about their approach to the transfer portal. So this is what Brian Kelly said this morning on OTB about the portal.
I think it starts with understanding, our values, our program, clearly, culture first over the player, and they've got to fit what we do here. I've made it clear that, these players that are in the portal, we have to vet out and understand why they're in the portal. If they're in the portal because they've been, forced out of their existing program, then we better know about it. Is there an injury that's being masked? Is there an issue with their academics? Is there an issue with them in the locker room? We better find out what the issues are.
So a little bit maybe about the approach, but when you talk about positions, that's sort of what he was talking about a week ago. And one of the things he continued to mention, is on the offensive line. And LSU has offered Emmanuel Pregnon out of the transfer portal. So just a little bit of a background there. Pregnon is from Wyoming. Well, he's from actually Denver, but it has started his college career here at Wyoming. So, signed in the 2020 class, which was obviously the COVID year, so didn't play. 2021, redshirted, so didn't play in 20 because of the COVID year, then redshirted in 21. And then this last year in 2022, he was the starting left guard. Started 11 games for Wyoming in 2022. Big dude, 6'6", 318 pounds. Go look him up on social media. You'll see freakish workout videos. There's one of him front squatting, which looks like, I don't know, maybe that's about over 400 pounds that he's front squatting right here and repping on it, which is pretty incredible. So you're talking about a really big, really physical interior offensive lineman who was not very highly recruited coming out of high school, goes to Wyoming, develops physically into this 6'6", 318-pound athletic monster, and now he's looking to play somewhere else, probably take advantage of an NIL opportunity, play at the major college level, then go off to the pros, and he's got offers from a ton of people. Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, Illinois, Oregon, Colorado, UCLA, and others. So lots of teams interested in Pregnon, and LSU is on that list. They've offered him. So for what it's worth, he's got 3 years to play 3. But he is draft eligible now. So he could theoretically play 1 year of major college football and then go into the draft. But he's got 3 more years. Essentially, COVID year didn't count for anybody. He redshirted in 21. So he's got, last year was basically his first year. Now he's got 23, 24, and 25 if he wants to use all of them and take advantage of the extra COVID year. Doesn't have to, but could if he ends up being like, a 6-year player, which doesn't have to be. But when we look at LSU, the thing we've talked about on the offensive line with LSU is depth. Remember, and this has been a conversation we've had here now for months, because as it was explained to me near the end of the LSU football season, LSU they felt like they were going to lose veteran offensive linemen to the portal because some of these guys who had been sort of waiting their turn and had fallen on the depth chart or been passed by young guys like Will Campbell and Emory Jones and some of the transfers like Miles Frazier. It was clear they were going to lose some of their veteran depth and they were going to have to replace it. And that's essentially what happened. You lost Marcus Dumerville, you lost Cardell Thomas, you lost Cam Wire, you lost Xavier Hill. You lost 4 veteran offensive linemen, and of course Anthony Bradford went to the pros, so you lost 5 linemen. You've got your first 5 that you feel really good about, like we've talked about from left to right. You've got Will Campbell, you've got Miles Frazier, you've got Charles Turner, you've got Garrett Dellinger, and you got Emory Jones. And then we can also throw in Marlon Martinez, right, who has cross-trained at several positions and got real game-time reps late in the season at center, really battling Charles Turner a little bit. So really you feel good about your first 6 guys. But after that, nobody on LSU's offensive line in that group had any meaningful experience after the transfers. So you feel good about your first unit, but we all know this, like statistically, the spot that is the most injury prone, where you see the most injuries every year in football, is on the offensive line. For all the reasons we know. It's physical, you're playing in a phone booth, big bodies falling, all that sort of stuff. So remember, a year ago, LSU used 6 different offensive line combinations in its first 8 games. 6 combos in its first 8 games. Now, they steadied late in the season. They found their first 5 and felt pretty good about it. Bradford's obviously gone now to the NFL, but Dellinger and Frazier had both played a lot, and those 3 guys rotated at tackle. So you still feel good about your first 5. You add Martinez, that's 6. Then what? Well, remember, they went and signed Mason Lunsford out of the transfer portal from Maryland. That's a guy who's played more than 30 games during his career there with the Terps. So you add, again, veteran depth. Okay, maybe pushes for a starting job. Maybe ends up being inserted if there's an injury or somebody struggles. But so now you're talking about you got 7 guys. And really what you want, you'd love ideally to have a 2 deep that had a ton of experience. But really what you want is 8. You're starting 5, and then a backup center, backup guard, backup tackle, who can be a swing player on either side of the ball if you have an injury and you know who goes in. Well, if you've got your 5 right now, and then Martinez and Lunsford put you at 7, you need 1 more. You need 1 more. Now, maybe Lance Hurd comes in and is the dude that he looks like, 5-star offensive lineman, has said, man, I know Will Campbell. Yeah, I'm coming to take his job. Okay, if you do, awesome. That means you've got tons of alphas running around and dudes that are all going to be first-round draft picks. That's a great, air quotes, problem to have. But I'd still want someone with experience if you can get it. It may feel like a luxury, but that's a great security blanket to have that much veteran experience potentially on your offensive line. I don't know what Brian Kelly can go sell a guy like Pregnon over some of the other programs who may have plug-and-play starting opportunities available, which may be the case, which is maybe why LSU won't be the most appealing spot. I mean, I just rattled off a list of schools that includes Auburn, Tennessee, Oregon, Colorado, UCLA, Illinois, Kentucky, lots of places that may have plug-and-play starting opportunities for that guy right now, and that may better fit him. But that's exactly the kind of prospect or kind of player that if LSU can add in this portal cycle, you want to add. And for whatever it's worth, when you look at these portal rankings, like players in the transfer portal, the rankings, Bear Alexander from Georgia, the defensive lineman, is number 1. They rank Emmanuel Pregnon from Wyoming number 2 as the second best player in the portal. So this is a guy that if you can get, man, you throw your hat in the ring, you go make your pitch and see if you can get him on campus. It would be really big for LSU if they could add that guy who, maybe he's looking for 1 year and then hit the pros, or maybe he's willing to come, be a rotational piece and start in 2024 and then hit the NFL or whatever the case may be. But 6'6", 318, a guy was a left guard at Wyoming this past year. LSU has offered him. We'll see if they can snag him. We'll keep you posted on that as it develops. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. I love this. I got a text actually last week from my buddy Trey Erie, who I went to high school with, and he sent me a picture, and it's crazy. His dog apparently was hunting a squirrel, and they have a bay window in their kitchen, and The dog jumped through the bay window to get to the squirrel. I mean, obliterated this thing. I should have given Paulie the picture to show it. But anyway, this window is obliterated. So they called Relief Windows, who had done the windows. This is what he sent to me. He said Relief Windows was out within 24 hours. Same salesman, same awesome service. Said it turns out he goes to church with his painter who trims around their work. Said, authorized the quote on the spot. Windows will be ready within 4 weeks. FY, that's unheard of nowadays, right now after COVID. And he said, oh, you big time and all that stuff. But he said he used another company before I started promoting Relief Windows, switched, and he said they're not even in the same league. Again, if you need windows, doors, or siding, there's just nobody better that's going to do better products and better service than Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. All right, we're going to go around the SEC coming up here. Get you caught up on baseball scores from around the league last night. Tons of portal news in football and some NBA decisions as well in basketball that we'll get to. And Taylor Calandro in 15 minutes for a little Bourbon Dictionary. If you got booze questions, get them in. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. And lots of ways that you can get involved in the show. We always appreciate you for being here with us. Okay. Also, if you got to go, come back, because in 30 minutes we're talking about the Saints hosting a quarterback on a pre-draft visit, one of the 30 pre-draft visits, and why I think this could be a very interesting prospect if the Saints do go that route and pull the trigger. We're going to get to that in 30 minutes from right now. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. You know where to find them. Agent225.com. That's where you'll find great testimonials like this one from Jackie and Mike Burnett, who said, Darren is the best realtor I have ever worked with. He was great representing us. When the builder wanted to delay closing, he was able to get the builder to close by the end of the month. He is always looking out for his clients. Darren James, not only does he get results, Wall Street Journal's listed the top 1,000 realtors in America and all the things that I tell you about all the time. But Darren takes something that is statistically one of the most stressful events of people's lives, moving, buying, selling a home, moving, and makes it a stress-free, enjoyable process. I've been through it with Darren before, sold our first home. We've bought 2 homes from Darren now. He could do the same for you. Call him today, 335-7666 or agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Ford has $2,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% APR for 84 months on new 22 Ford Expeditions. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Otter Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience.
They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, Muse, you watch a lot of LSU baseball. You want to answer Bradley's question from earlier when he said, I don't know, do you really think Griffin Herring's been better from the left side than Riley Cooper? What do you think, Muse? You watch a lot of baseball.
Yes, he is. A lot. And it's not like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and I'm not crushing Riley Cooper. He just hasn't been the Riley Cooper we've seen. Griffin Herring has been awesome. They put him into a game with a 2-run lead against Tennessee to close it out. He's been pretty good.
I was just wondering if you were going to say what you said to me in the break.
I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to go there.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I was just testing you. That was just for my own personal amusement. All right.
They play Ole Miss this weekend. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah, Griffin Herring's your best lefty. That's not even really debatable. Right? But Javen Coleman, if he reverts to form, he's throwing 96 from the left side. Yeah, man. Give me that guy. Okay, it's after further review. Taylor Calandro, less than 10 minutes from right now. We'll do some Bourbon Dictionary. Looking forward to that. And I do want to talk about what Joe Burrow's contract is going to look like in light of the Jalen Hurts contract. We didn't get to that yesterday, but we will. Right now, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
Texas A&M! Aggies got a defensive back transfer from Boston College. Josh DeBerry is leaving Chestnut Hill for College Station. Also had offers from Arkansas, Ole Miss, Wisconsin, and others. Played 4 seasons at BC, was an all-ACC player. Texas A&M has had 26 scholarship players enter the portal since December.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Jaquez Robinson has entered the transfer portal. Defensive back played in 6 games this past year. 6'2", 199-pound redshirt junior. Bama's got 16 players who've hit the portal since the end of the season. The Crimson Tide will play their A-Day spring game 2 o'clock Saturday inside of Brian Dennehy Stadium.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
3 Ole Miss players have entered the portal. Defensive lineman Tywone Malone, cornerback Markevius Brown, and safety Elijah Sabatini. Malone, by the way, a 2-sport guy, football and baseball. Really, it was a 4-star recruit coming to high school. Never really emerged in either sport.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Braden Lee, a 4-star cornerback, has committed to South Carolina. 6'1", 170-pounder. He's out of Maryland. The number 18 cornerback in the 247 composite. Said Carolina was always his number 1 choice.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vandy's added a football commit for the class of 2024. It's 3-star wide receiver Bryson Coleman, 6'5", 200 pounds. The 123rd ranked receiver nationally. Chose Vandy over Minnesota and James Madison.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn center Johnny Broome has announced he'll test the NBA draft waters, but has not ruled out a return to Auburn. Of course, he's the second player from this Auburn team to hit the to enter the draft, joining point guard Wendell Green. Underclassmen have until May 31st to withdraw their name from the draft. Broome, of course, 6'10", 235-pounder, transferred to Auburn from Morehead State, and was Auburn's leading scorer this year at 14 points a game.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Freshman wing Jordan Walsh is entering the NBA draft and says he is not coming back to school. He will stay in the draft. Played in all 36 games this past season for Eric Musselman's squad. Started 22 times, averaged 7 points and 4 boards per game.
The Florida Gators.
Florida closer Brandon Neely is going to miss this weekend's series against South Carolina as he serves a 4-game suspension for getting tossed this past weekend. If you missed it, it was a bases-loaded strikeout in the 8th inning of Florida's win over Georgia on Sunday. Neely celebrated. He got run. He's the SEC's leader in saves with 7 right now. With Neely on the shelf, Gators likely lean on lefty Philip Abner to close out games. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com. For Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Official office equipment provider, the New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and the ULL Raging Cajuns. I mentioned the Brandon Neely. He didn't even know he got tossed. The Brandon Neely news. If you missed it, so Florida's playing Georgia this past weekend. Apparently earlier in the game, teams had already gotten warnings. Neely gets a bases-loaded strikeout in the 8th. And as he's walking off the mound, does a fist pump and kind of a flex. Nothing egregious, but I guess when there had been warnings before, that's what prompted the ejection. So now Neely, again, who's Florida's closer, he's not available this weekend against South Carolina in a top 10 matchup. As he's walking off, he doesn't. You can see he doesn't even know he got run as he's walking off. My first of all, feel bad for the kid. Obviously, I'm all for celebration. You know my feeling on that, everything. But my first thought, honestly, was thank God that didn't happen to Jared Jones, because Jared Jones, with his second home run in Game 3 of the series this past weekend, threw his bat and yelled very clearly several raunchy expletives at Kentucky's pitcher. There were some F's and some P's. Let's put it that way. Don't need to go any further than that. And it was clear. And the umpire sort of escorted him down to the first baseline. And the next time Bear Jones came up to bat, Kentucky made a pitching change, and the umpire and Jones were having words. So my point is, but for the guy who was, wearing the blue shirt behind home plate, LSU could be heading into this weekend without Jones, because look at what happened to Brandon Neely. So, look, chill out, Blue. You know how I feel on that. But be glad it wasn't your guy, because given this situation, it very easily could have been. See what Florida does this weekend without Neely, if they're in a situation like that where they're not going to have their closer.
Chill out, NCAA, too. 4 games?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Well,
4 games?
It's because they wanted to miss the weekend. So, I get it.
That's abhorrent.
I get it. I'm with you. But that's why. It's like in Major League Baseball, when they give you like a starting pitcher a 5-game suspension, and so you miss your turn in the rotation. So I get what they're doing. They want you to miss a weekend. But I'm with you. It's ridiculous. We're in total agreement. I just don't care about Florida. So I'm kind of happy Florida's going to be in pain, because I don't like Florida. I don't care about Florida at all. I'm just grateful that it didn't happen to Jones. And hopefully Jay Johnson uses this and says, hey, guys, emotion's good, but chill out a bit. Just relax. All right, let's grab a break. We're brought to you by Pluckers. Trivia night tonight. Means we got some trivia for you later, Muse. Get ready. Excited for this one for you, man. Think you're going to nail it. Not really. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, right there, Bluebonnet, near I-10. The next time you're thinking about hosting a big event, think the Renaissance Hotel. Last year, we had our Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Prestige Award Banquet at the Renaissance Hotel. I've been to several fundraising events at the Renaissance Hotel. If you have an event for as many as 500 people, or you need a business meeting space for about a dozen in an intimate boardroom setting, a comfortable, spacious, luxurious boardroom setting, the Renaissance Hotel can help you there as well. It's the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. You see the tower. And By the way, if you ever get a chance to go up to the top floor of the Renaissance, the 360 panoramic views of Baton Rouge are just unmatched in that part of town. It's at the Renaissance Hotel. Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. Great spot for a business lunch or night in the town. Go see our friends at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $15,000 off all new 2022 1500 SCA trucks. And all new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Not only did she tell us, but this young lady, stand up. And this young lady
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. We do it every single Wednesday. It's a Whiskey Wednesday, so we talk to our guy Taylor Calandro from Calandro's to answer all your booze questions. How are you, dude?
Good. What's up, Matt?
Another day, another dollar. By the way, so Mary Bird Perkins is having their bourbon raffle tonight. It's their charity fundraiser. More than 100 bottles in it, $20 a chance. We kind of helped them promote it a bit yesterday. They have a golden ticket, right? So if you draw the golden ticket, you can pick any bottle outside of their top 10. If you could pick any bottle, which would you pick? Someone asked me that question. It was Benjamin Walter. So which bottle would you pick? Any thoughts?
Well, I haven't seen the list. But,
imagine basically everything.
If I could pick any bottle in a raffle, it would probably be, well, obviously one of the Pappies, if they have any of that. Or one of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collections. to zero in on one of them, probably a Handy. I love Thomas H. Handy.
Okay.
So I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but I would have to say.
Why would you get hate for that?
I don't know. I feel like Handy, out of all of them, gets the least amount of love. But, man, I think Handy is one of the best rides on the planet Earth, literally, every year.
I think when you talk about the B-Tax, which are the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which is Taylor's alluding to, so the Thomas H. Handy is a rye. And like, honestly, when I went to the Sazerac House in New Orleans, that's where you learn all about Thomas Handy, how he was like, really the one of the godfathers of whiskey in this country, which is kind of, it's really cool to learn all the history of it. But
I still love learning about that kind of stuff when I go to distilleries. I don't know if everybody does, but every distillery you go to, or whether it be the Sazerac House or whatever, there is always something different and some stupid little obscure fact that you'll learn, and I love learning about that kind of stuff.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it was Thomas Handy who created the Sazerac cocktail, which he originally used with rye, which he's the one who made it with rye whiskey. So, I mean, that makes sense that Thomas H. Handy is a rye, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And I think it's one of the quintessential ryes out there. I mean, I think it's a very good representation of what rye should be. It's got some spice to it, but it's also easy to drink. It's a very, very, very good rye. We're sitting here talking about this like you can just go buy it on the shelf.
I know, right? It's like any of those are
impossible.
impossible.
It's really, really, really great. Go get it. Can't do that.
You can't find it anywhere, but it's gorgeous. I've nursed a bottle of Handy for several years. So on my bar. It's probably about 3/4 of the way gone. I'm just having a really tough time finishing it off and parting ways. But yeah, Thomas H.
I would too. It's a hard bottle to replace, regardless of who you know.
No doubt.
So,
we always get to your questions, so fire away. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. You can always get your questions in for Taylor. Anything new?
Nothing new this week, but we are on Monday. We're going to get the new Parish beer called Extra Sauce. It's the collab. It's the second collab they've done with Raising Cane's. And this one, the first one was an IPA with lemon, and this one is like a shandy almost. So it's going to be an imperial shandy, a golden ale with lemonade in it. It should be a nice little refreshing summer beer. So that should be hitting the store shelves next week. We'll be getting it on Monday. So
there it is.
We've been getting asked for that quite a bit the last week or so.
What is a? So I pulled it up right here for those who haven't seen. What is an imperial shandy? I'm not familiar.
So a shandy is just basically a beer mixed with some kind of fruit juice, and the imperial part is just that it's a higher ABV. So usually they're like 3-4% shandies. This one's 7%. So you're actually drinking a beer too while you're drinking the beer.
Okay.
Because most time you don't feel like you're drinking a beer when you're drinking a shandy. So hopefully this one will pack a little punch, which I think it will at 7%.
All right, let's get to your questions for Taylor. Eric says, ask Taylor, what Scott should I get my brother for helping me move last weekend? It really sucked, so I want to say thanks for something good.
Oh, my God. Moving really, really sucks, man. If you can find something high dollar, find it. I heard Stag Jr. or Stag, I should say, is floating around. If you can get your hands on one of those, check that out. But also maybe like a Booker's or something. Those have been floating around lately too. So something really nice, because moving is one of the worst activities on the planet Earth.
Yeah, if you want to if you want to thank your brother, hire movers next time.
That's what I would do. It's a good suggestion.
I will never.
Moving's a terrible activity.
If I don't know if I'll move again, but if I do, and look, the last time we moved, I hired movers. Like I refuse. I just nope. I will bite the bullet. I will write the check, and I will just go to my new home with everything already there for me. That's what I will do.
I absolutely agree with that.
Scott Pitaro asked Taylor, do you keep any bottles in the freezer for a cold pour like Wild Turkey 101?
I do not keep anything like that in the freezer. I have Jack Daniel's Fire in the freezer, and I have a bottle of limoncello in the freezer.
Okay.
So a little ice cold limoncello on a summer day after you eat is fantastic.
Craig Duke says, ask Taylor, Louisiana's finally getting Heaven Hill bottled and bond. Thoughts, and do you think it'll be super allocated?
Thoughts, it's great. If people aren't familiar with it, it's that green and white label. I have had it. It's fantastic. And do I think it's going to be plentiful? We'll see. I'm not sure about that. I think initially, just like everything, it'll be kind of hard to get, but hopefully it'll level out and it'll sit on the shelves.
All right. He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's 2 locations in Baton Rouge. Get on by and see him. Say, hey, aren't you the guy from the radio from Scone's show? He'll be like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
I believe that it happens. All right, man. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks for the time as always.
All right, man. Cheers.
All right, dude. That is Taylor Calandro. This is After Further Review. Sports Center is coming up when we come back. The Saints have hosted another quarterback for a pre-draft visit. We'll talk about it next.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Great time if you're shopping for that upcoming graduate, trying to buy in that vehicle, maybe the high school grad or the college grad as a congratulations, or as they move on to the next phase of life. You want to get them something affordable that's also safe, but that they're going to love because it's stylish and fun to drive. Go shop Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen's on Airline just north of Highland. Southwest Volkswagen in Lafayette, by the way, as well. And they have the all-new ID4, which is the all-electric SUV for everyone. And they have some on the lot. If you have not driven an EV, you can go test drive one of the ID4s at South Point Volkswagen today. Of course, always mention the certified pre-owned as well. All different makes and models. Shop them online at SouthPointVW.com. That's SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. WBRZ cameras were rolling when a man on the run for murder turned himself in Wednesday morning. The 18-year-old is accused of killing a man outside his family's home in Plaquemine. Nikias Labont was wanted in the shooting death of 24-year-old Kendrick Carter on April 7th. Labont's parents were also arrested, accused of dropping him off in New Orleans in an attempt to evade capture. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Bayou Ford has $2,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% APR for 84 months on new 22 Ford Expeditions. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Otter Medical Complex at the Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Otter.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right.
SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bucks power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo with a lower back contusion upgraded to questionable for tonight's Game 2 of their first-round NBA playoff series versus the Heat. Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant, game time decision against the Lakers for Game 2 tonight with a hand injury, 7 Eastern ESPN Radio. NBA Executive VP Joe Dumars told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski Warriors forward Draymond Green's one-game suspension for stomping on the chest of Sacramento's Domantas Sabonis in Game 2 was based on excessive and over-the-top actions as well as repeat offender history. Something else, though, is at play too in the decision, believes First Take host Stephen A. Smith.
It's the NBA acquiescing and capitulating to a lot of the public noise out there on too many damn occasions that influences decisions like this, which I think is atrocious. There's no reason for Draymond Green to be suspended for this game.
Green is out for Game 3 tomorrow. Mets ace Max Scherzer ejected from today's game against the Dodgers after umpires repeatedly checked his hands and glove, and after a heated discussion, Scherzer was tossed from the game.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. Matt?
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Man, a lot to get to, and glad to have you hanging out. I do want to talk some of what Joe Burrow's next contract may look like. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. And 1 hour from right now, there is a projected trade that would have the Saints moving all the way up into the top 10 of the draft. So I want to get into that 1 hour from right now. Tell you what's proposed. If I like it or don't, get some opinions. That's 1 hour from right now. So if you got to leave, come back. Speaking of the Saints in the draft, of course, 1 week from tomorrow. 1 week from tomorrow. 1 week from tomorrow. First round of the draft. Our Rouse's 104.5 ESPN draft party. We are at Don Juan Cigar Bar. The whole on-air staff minus Hester, who's actually going to be in Kansas City for the draft. But T-Bob, Hunt, me, Ott, Hanny will all be there. Muse will be there. Paulie, of course, you're welcome to come, but I don't know if you are going to be there. Are you coming, Paulie? No, Paulie just threw his hands in the air. Food and booze, Paulie. Food and booze.
That's a no from Paul.
That's a no from Paul. I know it's a no. I know it's a no from Paul.
I'm going to call him out, though. That's a no from Paul.
That's a no. That's okay. It's a no from me, Bob. But anyway, we'll be there. We're going to have a great time. Coming out and join us. We're looking forward to it. So, one of the big questions around the Saints all offseason has been quarterback, of course. They added Derek Carr. They re-signed Jameis Winston to the surprise of many, including yours truly.
Hey, Twitter world.
Why not? It's George truly. The most realistic target at quarterback that we've talked about ad nauseum is Hendon Hooker. He's the guy that's most likely going to be on the board for the Saints potentially at 29. So we've talked a lot about Hendon Hooker. I really like Hendon Hooker a lot. If they pull the trigger, I wouldn't hate it. I don't necessarily love the idea of drafting a quarterback high, considering you just committed the money you did for at least 2 years to Derek Carr, and so you don't necessarily get the benefit of having a quarterback on a rookie deal. Anyway, That doesn't necessarily preclude the Saints from drafting a quarterback later in the draft if one is available. We saw them do it a couple of years ago with Ian Book in round 4. It's been a while now, but if you remember, they had Garrett Grayson in round 3 out of Colorado State. So the Saints have pulled the trigger in middle or later rounds on quarterbacks. Way back when they drafted Sean Canfield in round 7. Remember that out of Oregon State. So they'll pull the trigger on a quarterback in later rounds if there's a guy on the board that they like. This one is interesting to me. Jordan Schultz is reporting that UCLA quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson is visiting the Saints today. He notes DTR was 2-time All-Pac-12, and that NFL teams are intrigued by his ability to move the pocket, versatility as a runner, ran 4.56 at the combine. Okay. The reason that I think this in particular is even more interesting is because the Saints were at a private workout in LA last week with DTR at UCLA's campus. So the Saints went out to LA for a private workout with DTR last week, and now they have him in New Orleans. I can understand the smoke and mirrors game, the gamesmanship at the top of the draft. If you've got a top 5 pick and you want teams to think you're interested in a quarterback because maybe you want to entice that team outside of the top 5 to jump into the top 5, I get it. Like, hypothetically, if Atlanta were interested in a quarterback, I know they've committed to Desmond Ridder, so they say publicly, it would make a lot of sense if Atlanta were going to move in somewhere in the top 5 if there was someone they love. Like, let's say Will Levis does go 2 and C.J. Stroud's hanging around 3, 4. It could make sense that you move up a few spots to get the guy you love if you think that the team there in the top 5 might draft a quarterback. Maybe the best example I should have given would have been the Patrick Mahomes example. The Saints really like Patrick Mahomes. Word leaked. Andy Reid and the Chiefs jumped ahead of the Saints to take Mahomes because they knew he'd probably come off the board to New Orleans. So they went up to 10 to get him. But when you're talking about DTR, who by most accounts is an early day 3 guy, if that's the case, you don't fly to LA to work him out and then bring him to New Orleans for a day 3 quarterback, generally speaking. Now, I'm not a scout. You'll know that. I'm not here to tell you anything that, about DTR that you don't already know or haven't already seen. Saw DTR in LA when we went and saw LSU play there to start the 2021 season. He's a really good player, man. He is super athletic. He makes all the throws. He's a great leader. Played a ton of football over 5 years in Los Angeles. So there's a lot to like. The thing you don't like is the thing everybody always talks about is just the size. I mean, he's listed at 6'2". That's probably generous. Probably more like 6'1", 205. Runs a lot. Maybe could be an injury risk, but super athletic. And in the modern age of football, you are seeing guys that can move the pocket are the guys that are the most appealing. So I like DTR a lot. Like if DTR is on the board and the Saints want to use one of their they got 2 5th-round picks. Want to use a 5th-round pick on DTR? I'm pumped about it. But I do think now it is becoming more common to find a starting quarterback outside of round 1 than ever. And the reason, this is just my hypothesis, is because the NFL game is morphing into what the college game has been. Instead of what was forever the college game, more trying to mirror the NFL, and you look for the best players in that system who make the transition to the next level successfully. What's happening actually is in reverse. The college game evolved with the advancement of 7-on-7s. Quarterbacks became more dual threat guys that can run, move the pocket, shotgun, pistol formation, 2-step, let go of the ball, predetermined reads, all that sort of stuff. Well, when that's the majority of what the game is now at the high school and college levels, that is what colleges are producing to the NFL, and so the NFL game has morphed into more of what the college game is. Instead of the traditional under center I formation, what football was for years and years and years. So I think you're seeing more quarterbacks who have success in those systems who may not be the prototypical NFL prospect that are having success at the next level. And I think evidence of that, look at the playoffs this past year, y'all. 14 teams in the playoffs. When you look at the draft spot for the 14 quarterbacks that started playoff games this past year, Seahawks, Niners. Geno Smith was a second rounder. Brock Purdy was a seventh rounder. You had Herbert against Lawrence, both first rounders. You know, when Miami played Buffalo, of course, Josh Allen was a first rounder. Skylar Thompson was a seventh rounder, but the caveat there is, of course, Tua was hurt, and Tua was a first rounder. But Skylar Thompson started the playoff game, seventh round pick. Daniel Jones was a first rounder against Kirk Cousins, a fourth rounder. Ravens, Bengals, Lamar and Burrow, both first rounders. You had Cowboys, Bucks, so Dak against Brady, that was a fourth rounder against a sixth rounder. And then the two teams that had byes in the first round were the Eagles and the Chiefs, so Hurts and Mahomes, a second rounder and a first rounder. So when you look at it, of the 14 quarterbacks to start to make the playoffs, half of them, 7, were first rounders. But that means half of the quarterbacks that started in the playoffs this year were outside of round one. You had 2 second rounders, 2 fourth rounders, a sixth rounder, and 2 seventh rounders. Point is, you can find playoff caliber quarterbacks outside of round one because of the nature of the NFL game and how it's evolving. Brock Purdy 15 years ago would have no shot in the NFL. Probably wouldn't even been playing quarterback. Now, he can run that offense. Doesn't matter that he's a short guy. It's part of the reason why Bryce Young's going to be the first pick of the draft. So, if the Saints scout and evaluate DTR, and he has a skill set they really like, and you can get him with an agreeable draft pick, maybe early in day 3, and it's a bit of a project, okay. I mean, I'm cool drafting DTR, stashing him on the practice squad for a year. You see what happens with Jameis after this season, and if you like DTR, maybe he's your backup for Carr in 2024, and then potentially in year 3 is in the mix to be your franchise quarterback. Maybe it plays out that way. Or maybe you draft him and he's a total bust, and after a year he's gone, just like Ian Book. But I'm okay taking that shot because maybe you find Kirk Cousins in round 4. Maybe you find Dak in round 4. I'm not saying you find Brady in round 6, but could you find Brock Purdy in round 7? Yeah. Could you find Jalen Hurts in round 2? Could you find Russell Wilson in round 3? Yeah. But not if you don't make the pick. So, DTR. Another name to keep an eye on. The Saints are showing a lot of interest. And considering where he's slotted to go in the draft, it wouldn't make an awful lot of sense for the Saints to be showing this much interest if it was just gamesmanship. All right. It's after further review. Again, draft a week from tomorrow. We'll be at Don Juan Cigar Bar for our Rouse's Draft Watch Party. Come hang out with us. We'll have a live stream as well if you're watching on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. That's where we'll be. It's where T-Bob and I will be tonight for Scone and Tea. It's where we'll be next Thursday for our draft watch party. So hang out with us and make sure you subscribe up to the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Okay, quick break. I don't want to leave the NFL talk just yet. We are going to circle back to some college football. Brian Kelly was on OTB earlier today. Also, John Jancic met with reporters yesterday, the new special teams coordinator. We talked special teams yesterday, but Jancic also talked about the jack position, the outside linebacker spot where, of course, B.J. Ojulari's off to the NFL and Harold Perkins has moved inside. So what does that spot look like? We're going to talk about that coming up a bit later in the show as well. Glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Great time again to remind you about Rouse's. Our Rouse's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Draft Watch Party. So thrilled to have Rouse's as a partner. They've been awesome to us, and they can be for you as well. Wherever you are really in the Gulf South, more than 60 Rouse's locations. You can find that Rouse's near you at rouses.com. That's rouses.com. They got the truckload sale, which actually ends today. So if you want to take advantage of the great deals on the truckload sale, you got to get to Rouse's today to take advantage of those sales. Also, Louisiana live and boiled crawfish. They got you over at Rouse's. If you're having a crawfish boil, want to do it yourself, Rouse's will sell you the live crawfish. You want them to take care of it? No worries. Rouse's will take care of business for you. Live boiled crawfish freshly boiled in-house at their in-house boiling rooms every single day from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. As long as crawfish season is rolling, you can get your crawfish boiled at Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouses.com, Rouses.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $15,000 off all new 2022 1500 SCA trucks. And all new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We're in a really good position provided we continue to develop the traits of this football team. And I think there's some talent that we didn't have in certain areas, but it's got to be developed. And that's on us. We got to do a really good job of coaching this football team. If we back off at all from what we do in our process, then that's on us. If we do a really good job of sticking with our process and really developing the traits of this football team, we got a chance to be pretty good.
Brian Kelly was off the bench with Hester and T-Bob this morning. You can catch the entire interview. They got it up at the Off the Bench LSU YouTube channel if you want to go check it out on demand. They talked about it an awful lot. And listen, there's a lot of expectations around this LSU team. I did an interview with some Ole Miss friends today, and they were basically arguing why LSU should be considered the favorite in the SEC West, something I know that I've said here. And I don't view that as a homer take. I mean, that's an LSU team that won the West a year ago. The schedule sort of flips in their favor with Auburn, Florida, Texas A&M all in Baton Rouge this year. Tennessee rotates off. Missouri rotates on. Yes, you have to go to Alabama, but Alabama's got a lot of questions in their own right this year. So a lot of reasons to believe in LSU, and among them is Jaden Daniels. And Brian Kelly was singing Jaden Daniels' praises earlier today.
I mean, I think he could be the best quarterback in the country. There's no doubt. I mean, what he's exhibited this spring has been, for me, just a comfort level within the offense, the ability to want now to stretch the offense down the field, and then the leadership component, which wasn't there last year because he was more worried about finding his own space and finding his own way here at LSU. So now you combine all those other aspects, and you just have a player now that's on the verge of being, in that category of greatness. And that's anybody understands college football knows that if you've got a quarterback that can play at that level, you've got a chance to play for a championship.
Be what LSU and Jay Daniels are trying to do. As Daniels comes back for another year, improve his draft stock, help LSU get into the playoff, potentially win a national championship, the elusive national championship, which Brian Kelly and Jay Daniels are both co-seeking, and they'll see if they can get it done together. Good interview today. If you want to catch the convo with Brian Kelly, it's on the Off the Bench LSU YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. Speaking of LSU quarterbacks, Joe Burrow finna get broke off, y'all. I know this. I was out Monday, and that's when the Jalen Hurts news broke, and he reset the market. I know there's a lot of questions about where really does this stop, and the answer is it doesn't. When Patrick Mahomes got his 10-year, $450 million contract, which reset the market at $45 million per. Remember, Dak got $40 million a year. Then when Josh Allen got his deal, it bumped to $43, and then Mahomes got his, it bumped to $45. And it wasn't surprising when Cleveland signed Deshaun Watson that he again reset the market at $46. The guaranteed money for Watson is what was surprising, right? The entire $230 million contract was completely guaranteed. That was the thing that was surprising. But if you wondered if Deshaun Watson's contract would basically set the market and you might see a little bit of regression, Kyler Murray got $46.1 million annually. Yeah, you can pull this up. Russell Wilson got $48.5. And the one that was the sort of the surprising jump was Aaron Rodgers when Green Bay paid him $50.2 million. And that was the one because of the gap between Watson and Rodgers, where Watson was at 46 and Rodgers was at 50.2. A lot of people wondered how that gap would fill. Well, you saw Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson fall closer to Deshaun, which is why the Jalen Hurts contract is super significant for Joe Burrow. You want someone else to set the market so then you can come in and beat it. It's like, no, you go first so I know what I have to do. It's like overtime in college football. You want to be on defense first so you know what your offense has to do. The offense then has the advantage. It's the same for Joe Burrow right now. The fact that Jalen Hurts got $51 million per, and Deshaun Watson just a year ago got $46. You've seen the average annual salary mark now boost by $5 million per year from what Deshaun Watson got a year ago. Joe Burrow's sitting there like, let go. Because Burrow is going to reset the market in a big way. If Jalen Hurts got 51, Burrow minimum is going to get $52 million per year. Now, I don't think he's going to get a 10-year deal like Patrick Mahomes did, but a 6-year deal for Joe Burrow at $52 million per year is very likely. The bigger question there, I wouldn't even say it's likely. That's almost a certainty that Burrow is going to reset the market. The bigger question is the guaranteed money. Watson got a completely guaranteed contract, $230 million. I don't see Burrow getting a fully guaranteed deal, certainly not from the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not saying he's not worth it, but that's what it took for Deshaun Watson, for the Browns to get him away from the Falcons, which seemed like a done deal. Burrow wants to stay in Cincinnati. He's already there. He's going to get a giant pile of cash. It's just a matter of the guaranteed money for Burrow, which is going to be the question. But his per year average annual salary, he will 100% reset the market ahead of what Jalen Hurts got at 51. Burrow's deal will be a minimum of $52 million per year. The only, outside of the guaranteed money, the only real question I have is who gets their deal first? Does Burrow get it or does Justin Herbert get it? Both were rookies in the same class. Both are going to get a gigantic contract very likely this offseason. Who goes first? Because whoever goes first, whoever's next, is going to get the bigger deal than the guy who goes before him. So if Burrow goes first and gets 52, Herbert's going to get 53. If Herbert goes first and gets 52, Burrow will get 53. It's just how it's going to go, depending on when those deals get done. All right, it's After Further Review. I brought to you by Traction Sports. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Want to remind you, if your son or daughter is an athlete in any age or skill level, they want to be better, you got to look into Traction. Everybody knows Traction for their baseball leagues. Of course. I mean, that's what they've done that exceptionally well. I mean, they're a leader not only just in the region, but in the whole country as far as youth baseball leagues, like what Traction does with the Canes and all the fields over there. But no matter the sport that your young athlete plays, it doesn't matter if it's football or baseball or basketball or tennis or track or lacrosse. If you want to get bigger, stronger, faster, Traction's group training, you got to look into this. There are memberships available whereby your son or daughter can have unlimited training. That's strength and conditioning and skill training, unlimited. And it's for the month, for a small monthly fee, it's certainly underpriced, I'll say that. But the reason when I talk to Mac Chiuili over at Traction, it's they want to make sure that every kid in every sport has the opportunity to get elite level training no matter their sport. So learn more. It is so worth learning more about their performance and baseball memberships right now at Traction. Go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. Speaking of quarterbacks, this is something else we'll keep an eye on as we lead up to the draft. Apparently, and this is a report from me in Rappaport, the 49ers are entertaining trade offers for Trey Lance. We all know the story. Trey Lance was drafted third overall a couple of years back. Was sitting behind Jimmy Garoppolo, was the starting quarterback this year, broke his ankle in week 2, suffered that season-ending broken ankle. Garoppolo was set to play the remainder of the season. He suffered a season-ending foot injury. Enter Brock Purdy, who led the Niners to the NFC Championship game, was injured throwing the football, shoulder or elbow injury, not sure the severity of it, but it seems, of course, Garoppolo's gone. They've signed Sam Darnold as a backup, but it seems very likely if they're willing to trade Trey Lance, that Brock Purdy's going to be the guy whenever he comes back. Will the Niners be able to move Trey Lance before the draft? Something worth keeping an eye on. I know as far as we have the conversations like this, they all have to pertain to the Saints, and if the Saints might be interested in someone like that. And the answer for the Saints is, of course, you keep all options open, but if you're going to trade for Trey Lance with Derek Carr already under contract for a minimum of 2 years without an off-ramp, I don't see how it makes sense to bring on any type of asset to sit behind Derek Carr. Because if you trade for Trey Lance, you're certainly not going to let his rookie deal expire. You're going to want to extend him. And I don't see the Saints in a position to do that. So they're probably not players for Trey Lance. If the Saints were going to add a quarterback, it would likely be someone through the draft that they could sit and groom for a year behind behind Derek Carr and Jameis Winston, and then potentially if Winston's gone after 2023, someone that would sit behind Carr until they're ready to go. So Trey Lance, apparently Niners are entertaining trade offers for Trey Lance. I don't think the Saints are players there. Okay, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do a little overrated, underrated, Tigers and the Pros, and a projected trade that would have the Saints moving into the top 10. We're talking about that in 30 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
And it's an opportunity to remind you about Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, voted a top 10 sports bar in America by ESPN, top 10 wing restaurant in America by USA Today. Why in the world would you go anywhere other than Pluckers, especially on Wednesday? Because Wednesday is trivia. Both locations. 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. So get your team together, Go grab a table or belly up to the bar. Test your knowledge. Remember, every team, even if you don't win a round, you get to spin the prize wheel. So you can win Pluckers gift cards, Amazon gift cards, or other great prizes from retailers all over town. It's at Pluckers, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Nicholson's just out the campus. Bluebonnet's right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. So get on by, eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, NBA playoffs every night, MLB in full swing. Watch every game of your favorite team all season long at Pluckers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery at Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Otter Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner. Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com. All right.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week. Where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, Muse, you looked at a calendar?
I look at a calendar every single day, actually.
Yeah.
But I did today, yes.
What's today's date?
Today's the 19th, April 19th.
April 19th.
Yeah.
Which means tomorrow is...
April 20th.
Yeah. What's the numerical month of April?
April's the 4th month.
Oh. So tomorrow's date is...
4/20/2023.
Without the year, it's... what is it?
4/20.
Hmm.
Isn't that the day that everybody loses their check mark on Twitter or something like that?
Chris Terrio said, bruh, just wanted to wish everyone a happy Musso Eve. Smoke them if you got them. Oh, he's not the only one.
I'm sure he's not. I mean, you're all welcome that this is just grown and that I've been like, yeah, bring it on, whatever. It's the most outlandish thing ever. If any of you have ever met me, you know it's the most outlandish thing ever. But it works.
The more you fight it, Muse, the louder you scream about it, the more people believe that it's true. I mean, he who denieth speaketh the loudest.
multiple endings to a word there.
I don't think. I think it would be called a suffix. Wouldn't
a suffix? Yeah, suffix. There you go. I couldn't think of the word. Prefix, suffix, surname, all those things.
It's your time of day there, Muse. 4:35.
It's not my
the
time
gummies
of day.
are hitting,
what are you talking about?
The brownies. What'd you go with today? Gummies, brownies, a bong, bowl. What'd you do?
No, I was busy. I was listening to Todd McShay over here, actually.
Is that one of those things like where, you get high and you listen to it backwards?
No.
And it sounds like,
no.
Like the Beatles backwards. And
No,
it's like
no.
Lucifer. Is that what?
What?
You never heard of where you get high and you should know. This is your type of thing.
I thought that was Stairway to Heaven.
I'm leaning on you to explain it. I thought, you listen to Beatles album backwards or something like that whenever you're high and it sounds like you're... I'm leaning on you here to let me know.
I thought it was Stairway to Heaven. I didn't know that was
you
the
would
Beatles.
know. You would know.
Can't say I've ever done that.
Hey, Paul, do you believe him?
Not one bit.
I know, right? Tomorrow's Muse's day. Wonder how he's going to celebrate. Maybe you should wear that. Didn't somebody get you a hat? Didn't someone get you a marijuana hat with all the leaves on it and stuff?
Not a hat.
Was it a shirt?
It was shirts, yeah.
Shirts, plural.
Yeah, shirts, plural. The hat, the beanie, it was a Christmas-themed beanie. It just said, "Let's get lit," and it had Christmas lights on it. I actually wore that to Friendsmas. That actually got worn. Big hit, actually. People loved it.
Good.
Thought it was hilarious.
Good. Okay. If the beanie fits, Muse, as they say, if the beanie fits.
It was a little cold that night, too, so it worked out.
Okay. Tomorrow's 420. It's Muse Day. Not counting on my guy to be super locked in on the show tomorrow, so we'll make sure he has limited responsibilities. But, you celebrate your day, Muse. You celebrate your day. Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. They say sometimes that, Muse, it helps with, like, glaucoma and stuff, right?
I guess.
You just don't have glaucoma?
Not that I'm aware of,
so
actually.
You
I don't
know
think that I do.
If your habit had anything to do with helping it?
No. Your better thing would have been cataracts, especially with Williams. But I mean,
Well, that's why I was just doing glaucoma eye, just anything with eyes.
Okay, cataract, yeah.
Anything with eyes. I thought it was glaucoma was what it's supposed to help with.
I don't know. I mean, I know cataracts.
Oh, it does help with cataracts?
Yeah, you never seen.
So he's got it.
Oh wait, no. Does he say glaucoma in Rush Hour? In Rush Hour, when he's.
I can't say I saw it. Sorry.
What?
Rush Hour 2.
So wait, you saw Rush Hour 2 and not Rush Hour 1?
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Bad Boys 2.
Wait, you haven't seen Bad Boys 1?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe, probably, but I watch Bad Boys 2 every time it's on TV.
That's a good movie. Really good movie.
That's one of those that I'll actually sit through commercials and watch on TV. But anyway, Williamson Eye Center, regardless of your refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or you can always go to williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com. We had Carlos Stewart on yesterday from Dunham, went to Santa Clara, now back at LSU, and was asking him, Terrio mentioned on Friday that when he was in Dunham, he wore goggles, and I asked him about it on the show. He said, ultimately went and got LASIK. Best decision he made. I'm telling you, same is true. It doesn't matter if you're a college basketball player or an old radio guy like me. If you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, you can do it, and the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com. Okay, Muse, let's do a little overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Okay, you didn't even finish.
I was just guessing.
Cheesesteak.
So I'm going to say cheesesteak is... Here's where I waffle. It's mostly known as a Philly cheesesteak, right? But if you go to Philly, they drop the Philly. They just call it a cheesesteak.
Right, yeah, they do.
So I'm going to say that the cheesesteak is actually underrated. I think most people love beef, most people love bread, and most people love cheese. And a lot of people like peppers. It's a great combo, but it's hard to find a cheesesteak everywhere. And I feel like if a cheesesteak was on a menu in more places, I'd order it more often. So I'm going to say underrated because it is not plentiful enough.
Overrated or underrated? Draymond Green.
I think Draymond Green is... Now, are we talking about Draymond Green, the basketball player, or just the human being?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, okay, Draymond Green is underrated as a basketball player. He was a second-round draft pick who's become a borderline Hall of Fame player. He's one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and for a 6'7" player that actually plays the game below the rim in a league that values length and athleticism and playing above the rim, the fact that Draymond Green has had the career he has is astonishing. He is, as a basketball player, underrated.
Okay, so what's the human being part of this? So that's what
Well,
I said.
I just didn't know if I was considering everything, like his podcast, which is also fantastic. The fact that maybe he's just underrated all the way around. The fact that he can just go after a game and drop a pod and it goes viral because he's smart enough to do that and capture attention and capitalize on attention capture when it's there. I think he's a brilliant guy. I mean, he's found a way not only to be a great basketball player, championship player, and focus on the thing he does really well, but also capitalize on his other skill sets to become a very successful, wealthy man. So the fact that people hate him probably speaks to the fact that he's underrated.
All right. There you go. Overrated or underrated? Vine.
The app?
Yeah. God,
what's overrated? A lot of people used it when it died.
It's so good.
It died on the Vine.
Hey. It was so good. I miss Vine. Vine was
but see, the thing with all social media apps is that when you have success, everybody tries to capitalize upon your success.
Yeah, I get it.
And only innovators manage to stay relevant. I gave this example before, like when Snapchat came along and had a disruptive technology. It was the disappearing video, right? I mean, that was Snapchat's competitive differentiator. Well, everyone's response to that, like Instagram and now Facebook, was stories. And Snapchat became irrelevant. So Snapchat wasn't able to grow because people didn't have to leave Instagram or leave Facebook to go to Snapchat because they had that feature then integrated into that app. So you're seeing it right now with short-form vertical. TikTok came along. Everybody moved to short-form vertical. Well, what do you see now? Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. Like, if you can innovate, you'll survive. If you're Vine, you die on the vine. Overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Coach speak.
I don't know really how to answer this one because I don't think anyone likes coach speak. So in that sense, it's properly rated because nobody should like coach speak. It's boring and it's just a gigantic waste of time.
Overrated or underrated? Journaling.
Underrated. I think more people should write, and I think you should write your thoughts. If for nothing else, it's a great record to be kept, not only for your life to remember things, but also for future generations. I know I've told the story before, but when Drew was in the hospital, I journaled every day about his journey. And so I have more than 200 journal entries. He was in the hospital for 213 days. So I have 213 journal entries about his everything that happened. And I'll go back and flip through sometimes. And there's things I don't even remember, things that I lived and wrote about that I don't even remember anything about them that otherwise would be completely lost to time. But the fact that I journaled them, I have a record for him and for anybody else in the future who wants to read about Drew and what he and all of us went through. So journaling, I think, is very underrated. I think more people should journal. I think it's a very important thing to do to record history.
That's overrated or underrated.
This is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Pluckers. We'll knock out a break and we'll do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up the hour next.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, and I love actually checking the Clegg's Facebook page because every day they post on the Clegg's Facebook page about what they have on that giving day. So like yesterday, the blooming Louisiana iris, incredible. 1 gallon, $10.99 each. You can get it right now over at Clegg's Nursery. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you check out the Japanese maples. They got them at the Segan Lane location. They let you know about their, unfortunately, the caladium bulbs. They're almost gone. Mostly there was a major crop loss in Florida, so a lot of the garden centers only received about half of their orders. So go check out. If you're looking for something in particular, chances are they're going to post it on their Facebook page first. So make sure you're following Clegg's Nursery on their Facebook page. The Robert Allen Home and Garden containers are in at all 4 locations. So get on by and shop Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations. Buy local, shop local for more than 60 years. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. WBRZ cameras were rolling when a man on the run for murder turned himself in Wednesday morning. The 18-year-old is accused of killing a man outside his family's home in Plaquemine. Nikias Labont was wanted in the shooting death of 24-year-old Kendrick Carter on April 7th. Labont's parents were also arrested, accused of dropping him off in New Orleans in an attempt to evade capture. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TV to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
All right, let's say ah.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. You can donate today at 1045ESPN.com. Every $5 donated is an entry into our raffle. The prizes in the raffle this year are pretty awesome. 3 days, 2 nights at the CMA Music Festival in Nashville, Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. Aaron and Austin Nola autographed bat, ball, and pictures raffle items. concert package available as well. You can see it all at 1045ESPN.com. The Dreams Come True Radiothon is presented today by Service Chevrolet and the law offices of O.C. Brown.
Thank you, Muse. Appreciate everybody who has donated to Dreams Come True Louisiana on the Radiothon, and will continue to do so, raising money for a great cause. Something we've been very proud to be a part of for a lot of years here. We had the traditional Radiothon for a long time, where we had a phone bank and where you'd actually call in. Just so much has evolved, and doing it online has been super beneficial. So if you can, please be generous. 1045ESPN.com. Hey, by the way, as soon as we get done here today, I'm heading over to Oliver Twist, Scone and Tea tonight. Me, T-Bob. They have not yet told me what our break-even bottle is tonight, but I'm excited to try it, whatever it will be. It's usually something pretty good, so we'll let you know. All right, it's After Further Review right now. Muso, Tigers and the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
We're starting minor league baseball from last night. Double-A action. The Rocket City Trash Pandas were in action, which means our guy Landon Marceau was on the bump for the start, and he turned in a second great start of the season so far. So that's back-to-back weeks now for Marceau. 6 innings, 6 hits scattered, 2 runs, a walk, and 4 punch-outs. Got the victory, so he's 1-0 on the year. Now with an ERA of 2.45. Has not gone fewer than 6 innings in 2 starts. Really solid start to the year. To AAA, Kramer Robertson at the top of the order for the Memphis Redbirds. 2 for 3 last night. A double involved in that as well. Totaled 3 bases. Also an RBI on the night for Kramer. Redbirds got the victory as well. Why is this thing skipping so much? Oh, it is bothering me. Sorry.
Oh, it's not skipping, Muse.
No, it's skipping because it was skipping on the bump and it just skipped there.
I don't hear it skipping. Paul, do you hear it skipping?
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just those brownies starting to hit a
Go
little
away,
bit.
both of you.
Where everything just sounds like it's skipping now. I didn't know that was a side effect of it, Paulie. Guess you learned something new here. I got my what we learned for today.
We're not going to have time for that. You know that.
Well, a lot of times we do have time for what we learned, but I'll because I know that you two haven't written anything down for what we learned. We don't do it.
You know.
All right, today I'm coming to you for what we learned. You better be ready. I'm not even going to remind you. And if you screw it up, you're fired.
What if I already have one?
Is it what we just learned there, that the thing skips when you're high?
No, because it's not even real. It just skips.
Alternate realities there, Paulie. It's what he's living in right now.
Anyway.
Poor guy.
Anyway. Alex Lang yesterday in the first game of a doubleheader for the Tigers, a shutout inning of relief, 1 hit, no walks, 1 punch-out, 14 pitches, 9 strikes. Lang got the dub on the day. He is now 1-0. Alex Bregman is above the Mendoza line.
Hey!
That comes courtesy of a 2-for-4 night against the Blue Jays, and a double for Bregman as well. Would score a run, 214, the average. On the Corn Ferry Tour, here you go, since you tried to give me crap about it yesterday, and I didn't have the tee times yesterday, and now I do. Curtis Thompson's going to go off at 6:11 a.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow. It's the Suncoast Classic on the Corn Ferry Tour. We'll keep you posted on how he does.
Sure you will.
Because we're a big Curtis Thompson show, and this is a big Curtis Thompson segment.
I have to goad you and prod you and make you even mention our guy. One of my very dear friends. It's such a shame.
Stop it.
It's such a shame.
That's
I mean, you'll go digging through minor league stats to find something obscure from a player who probably didn't even really play at LSU. Maybe it was like on the team. I mean, there's some guys you mentioned where I'm like, I didn't even know that guy played at LSU. Happens sometimes.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Meanwhile, my guy, Kurt, that's what we call him. Those of us who know him best call him Kurt. CT. Really, if you know him well, you call him CT.
That would be good. That's actually a strong nickname. Curdy?
No.
Tommy?
That's just for baseball. Okay. That is Tigers in the Prizzos. The Brian Kelly thing. I'm telling you, Muse, what just happened to me, that's what happened to Brian Kelly. I want the family drop, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to start using it more. I want it.
You sure you just weren't trying to rename the segment?
Tigers and the Prizzos.
Kind of rolls off the tongue.
Sometimes the best things that happen by
organically. Yeah.
Flynn Hester, when Hester was doing 6 to 8, he came in studio to do. We would always do handoff Hester, and Flynn and Hester were in studio, and I slipped and said Flester, and they laughed their faces off, and that's been their thing now, which is great, awesome. But that's just the best things happen organically sometimes. Don't you agree that some of the organic things that are organic of the earth, Muse, are the best?
Good break.
Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Oh, man, tomorrow's going to be so much fun on 420 Day. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Baton Rouge is going to get engaged for more than 30 years. lmfj.com. Okay, are the Saints considering a top 10 trade? That's next.
AFR.
I want to remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. You know where to find them. Again, 2 locations. The Blue Bonnet location is right near Perkins. And then, of course, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. All this month, introductory pricing on the Evolve X body contouring treatment. This is the absolute latest and non-surgical body contouring. So we're heading toward beach and pool season. Maybe you've got those trouble areas that diet and exercise just can't hit. The lower abdomen, the flanks, your love handles, butt, thighs, whatever it may be. Ask about the Evolve X body contouring in this month, April. This is only in the month of April. Only in the month of April. Introductory discount pricing. You don't have to use it right now. Just going to buy it right now and use it when you want. It's at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and theantiagingclinics.com.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Otter Medical Complex at the Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, Live tunes and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it. Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. As we edge closer to tip-off of Game 2 of the Bucks Heat first-round NBA playoff series, Milwaukee's currently listing Giannis Antetokounmpo as questionable with a back contusion. Memphis' Ja Morant with that hand injury. Game-time decision, Game 2 tonight versus the Lakers. ESPN radio coverage in 1 hour. Excessive and over-the-top actions, conduct detrimental, and repeat offender history. NBA Executive VP Joe Dumars told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski those were the reasons why the league suspended Warriors forward Draymond Green 1 game. Green disciplined for stepping on the chest of Sacramento's Domantas Sabonis in Game 2. The suspension, though, could actually be a galvanizing moment for Golden State, believes ESPN's Monica McNutt.
The Warriors played notably better at home. Their defense, I believe, is top 5 rating at home. It's like 27th on the road. So I think the shooting falls. I think the defense shows up. Now, Draymond is absolutely a critical part of that defense, but just by the sheer fact that they are at home, you still have Steph, you still have Clay, you still have Gary Payton, guys that understand what is required in terms of winning.
Green serves the suspension tomorrow in Game 3.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tigers lose to the Cajuns.
Hump day.
Don't care.
It's hump day.
Javen Coleman looked awesome.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Care very much.
Hump day.
LSU targeting an offensive lineman in the portal.
It's hump day.
He's from Wyoming.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And he's a monster.
Hump day.
Go get him.
It's hump day.
We did some Bourbon Dictionary.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We talked about the Saints hosting DTR.
Hump day.
Joe Burrow finna get paid.
It's hump day.
John Jancic talking about offensive linebackers. Nope, not that. Outside linebackers.
What day is it, Mike?
There are no offensive linebackers.
Hump day.
That is a thing that doesn't exist in real life.
It's hump day.
That is not a football thing.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Did you just hear it skip again?
Yep.
I knew it. I saw your head do this. Like, uh-oh. Them gummies are kicking from use.
You probably also heard it.
No, I just saw your head do this. You can tell. It's a reflex.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
A little jittery over there, Muse.
Hump day.
You look nervous.
It's hump day.
You got the munchies?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
No.
You hungry?
Hump day.
No.
Okay. All right, let's get going here. John Jancic talking about outside linebackers. We'll do that in about 10 minutes from right now. And Pluckers Trivia, bottom of the hour. A week from tomorrow is the first round of the NFL draft. Fired up for it. Of course, our draft party presented by Rouse's. is going to be at Don Juan Cigar Bar. We look forward to seeing all of you there. If you can't be there, watch along with us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Our whole on-air staff will be there, minus Hester, who's going to be in KC for the draft. The Saints, since 2000, when Mickey Loomis jumped aboard this organization, I guess a little before, would have been Mueller, actually. But since 2000, the Saints have traded up in round one 11 times. They made 11 first-round trades. It's just what they do. They did it last year. Made 2 trades last year involving first-round picks. So if the Saints move up again this year, I'm not going to be surprised. It's just part of what they do. So in no surprise, when Bill Barnwell over at ESPN.com did a feature proposing a trade for every single first-round pick, naturally my first inclination was, okay, let me click 29 and see what he's got the Saints doing. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Not necessarily what I would do or want the Saints to do, but what he proposes as a first-round trade for the Saints makes a lot of sense. Here's what he says. He has the Saints making a trade with the Lions. So the Saints going all the way up to number 6. So the Saints would send pick 29, pick 40, so the first rounder, the second rounder, and next year's 1 to Detroit for the 6th pick and the Lions' 3rd round pick, the 81st pick. So basically you would give up next year's 1 and a 2 to go up to swap. You'd swap first rounders this year, give up this year's 2nd, next year's 1st, and then you'd also get this year's 3rd round pick. And Bill Barnwell writes, if the Saints needed defensive tackle, why not go all the way to the top of the class and take top-ranked tackle Jalen Carter? Listen to the tone of this, because this is the thing. The tone of this tells you everything you need to know about how the Saints are perceived in the NFL for their roster-building strategy. This tone tells you, like, I don't even need to read it with a certain cadence. You're going to hear it just with what he writes. If the Saints needed defensive tackle, why not go all the way to the top of the class and take top-ranked tackle Jalen Carter? It would cost them 2 first-round picks and a swap of a second-rounder for a third-rounder. But who cares? The Saints will just deal their 2025 first-round pick to reacquire a first-rounder in 2024. The NFL's oldest team is trying to win now, even if winning now means 9 games and a 14-point loss in the wildcard round as a 4 seed. He's essentially saying, tongue firmly planted in cheek, but in a legitimate way, the things we've talked about here. And he goes on to say, by the way, it might be tough for the Lions to drop back because if they're sitting there at 6 and Jalen Carter falls, they may want to take him there at 6. Wouldn't blame him. And it's really about, are you willing to be patient and value more picks if you're Detroit to continue building your roster? But I'm not so concerned about Detroit as I am New Orleans. And so I was asking myself the question, if this scenario presents, and it would not surprise me at all if it does. Now, I don't know if you could go from 29 to 6, only giving up a 1 and a 2. Like swapping 29 and 6, so going all the way up and only giving up an additional 1 and a 2. That may not be enough to make that drastic of a leap in the round. But if I'm the Saints, would I make that trade? I was asking myself this earlier today, and my answer was absolutely. Absolutely. Since this organization is going to proceed with blatant disregard for the future and only existing in the present without any consideration for what your decisions today might mean for tomorrow, then absolutely you do this deal. Absolutely you do the deal. Jalen Carter is the best defensive lineman in this draft. He is the best player at your greatest need. And again, not want, like not even need, must. Like, I would compare the Saints' need at defensive tackle this year to when they drafted Eric McCoy when Max Unger retired. Unger retired, the Saints had to get a center. They didn't have a first-round pick. The first pick in the draft was their second rounder. They used it on Eric McCoy because they needed a center immediately. The Saints need defensive tackles immediately. Like, it's not even a question of, it'd be a luxury, you'd love more depth. No. You literally don't have enough bodies at that position today. And if you can get the best one in the draft, okay. I'm good with that. I've told you before, I don't even care what the Saints do at 40, as long as at 29 they get the best defensive tackle available. I don't care what you do at 40. They got a lot of other needs on the roster, and they can address those. But if you can get this guy in the top 10, do it. Now, the collateral damage, of course, is then you wouldn't, with this proposal, is you'd miss out on another top 50 player in this year's draft, which could make you better and potentially be a starter. Just when you look at the history and what the Saints have been able to do with second-round picks, if it was Alontae Taylor, if it's Michael Thomas, Marcus Williams, the Saints have hit on second-round picks that they've turned into starting players. Pete Werner. So I would hate to give that up, but at the same time, this is what the Saints are. I'm not going to change their approach by talking about it here. Neither are you or are any of us. They are in perpetual win-now mode. As I've said, I've spoken my piece so many times on it. The problem is, with that as your approach, your ceiling is lower with a guy like Derek Carr at quarterback. Your floor is higher, but your ceiling is lower. So you just have to accept, I, as someone who opposes that strategy, I just have to accept this is their reality. So what's going to give them the best opportunity to win the most amount of games now? Well, plugging a hole at your biggest must position with the best player in the draft, do it. If you want to look at the counter argument, it's how much of a gap is there between a guy like Jalen Carter at 6 and, let's say hypothetically, because we've seen this player mocked to the Saints in a lot of drafts, Brian Breesy. Brian Breesy, the defensive tackle from Clemson, if he's on the board at 29 and he's the Saints pick, is that talent differential, is that gap between the two worth a second rounder and next year's one? If you feel like it's a big enough gap and it's worth taking that player who might end up being Jeffrey Simmons, like if Jalen Carter ends up becoming Jeffrey Simmons or Chris Jones or a perennial all-pro caliber pass-rushing interior player who just wrecks offensive lines, and Brian Breesy becomes a good starter in the NFL, but not that, then yeah, it's worth the difference. But if you're just talking about the difference between a really good starter and a solid starter, maybe it's not worth it. You stay where you are. My preference in this draft, of course, is going to be the Saints stay at 29, take the best defensive tackle available, and then pick the best player available at 40. That's what I would love to see them do. I just don't have any confidence or assurance that that's what the Saints are going to do because they are incapable and have proven they are incapable of being patient and letting the draft come to them. They are aggressive in the draft, and if that's going to be your strategy and you're bullish on a player and you want to go get him, then go get him. And maybe in this year's draft, there's a scenario that would present where you could go all the way up to 6. I don't think that's plausible or even realistic because what you would have to give up to go from 29 to 6 is dramatic. We've talked about when the Saints went from 27 up to 14 to draft Marcus Davenport. I mean, it took the next year's 1 and a middle round pick in that year's draft. So is next year's 1 and a 2 enough to get you from 29 to 6? Probably not. Probably not. But if the situation presents itself, you better believe the Saints will do it. It's just their history. It's their MO. Okay. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm curious if you think the Saints are going to move up in this draft. Hard to imagine them staying put at 29. It's just they're so antsy. And you know they're always looking for opportunities to move up. And they're going to be working the phone lines, and they're going to be active, and there's an opportunity to go for a player that they covet. They're going to do it. It's just a matter if they can get a deal done on draft night. So we'll continue watching it. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here, as always. Brought to you by Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. You can always check them out online at the website. You can learn more about their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment over at Mold Zero. Again, they'll kill mold. It'll remove odor, kill dozens of other pathogens as well at your home, at your office building, commercial buildings, apartment complexes. Don't worry about cutting sheetrock and all the different types of remediation work that needs to be done. Save thousands with a safe, patented process. It's Mold Zero. Mold-0usa.com. All right. When we come back, all right, we'll do Pluckers Trivia with Muso in about 15 minutes from right now. Muse, let me see if we have let's see, my guy Stevie Levy, the king of the wing, sent me the questions earlier. Do we have, I didn't read through them. Let's see, do we have a theme? All right, no theme, but Muse, I think you're going to go 3-0 today.
Oh, Lord.
I'm serious.
All right.
I think you're going to nail them all. I do. I'm dead serious. I think you're going to nail them all.
We need a good day.
I think you're going to get all three of them today. That's coming up in 15 minutes from right now. When we come back, LSU special teams coordinator and outside linebackers coach John Jancic talking about remaking that jack position. We'll discuss next on AFR.
AFR.
I love reading 5-star Google reviews from River City's 1 Hour Air because they have more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor because they've been around for 40 years. They've been treating people awesome for 40 years. So there's never a shortage of them. Here's one from Ted Westlake, 5-star review. River City's 1 Hour Air has been servicing my home for years. They maintained my old unit until its 30-year-old death. They've installed and maintained my new unit. Very satisfied. Would recommend them to friends. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 Hour Air. You want to extend the life of your unit? Have that seasonal maintenance done. You need to make this a regular part of your maintenance. They'll come out, preseason AC tune-up. They'll make sure it's clean and efficient to run not only for this year, but for many, many years to come. Mention the Moscona special, and they'll save you $25 at River City's 1 Hour Air.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $2,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% APR for 84 months on new 22 Ford Expeditions. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey,
what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
If you weren't here when we opened the show, we talked about Javen Coleman making his return. He was awesome. He only threw 16 pitches. He pitched the first inning yesterday against ULL. He went strikeout, fly out. Certainly a lot of people are disappointed in the loss. As we say all the time, losing that game doesn't cost you any of your goals for the season. Winning that game wouldn't have cemented any of your goals, and it doesn't hurt you a lick. D1 Baseball today released their field of 64 projections. After LSU lost yesterday, they're still projected as the number one overall seed. You got to keep things in context. It's baseball. You're going to lose games. Yesterday was far more significant for the fact that you got Javen Coleman back on the mound, and he looked great. He touched 96 with his touched 95 with his fastball. He went strikeout, fly out. The first strikeout, he battled back from a 3-1 count to get the swing and miss strikeout on an elevated fastball. Fantastic to see. With a team that has had no less than 3 critical injuries to contributors on this staff, and then beyond that, you look at the struggles of a guy like Thatcher Hurd, who you were really counting on, and it just hasn't materialized. That's really like 4 arms you were counting on that just aren't there for you now. So to get Gavin Guidry to emerge into his role, to have seen Griffin Herring emerge as he has, and now to get Javen Coleman back with the hopes of ramping him up over the next 5 weeks throughout the second half of SEC play is just massive. And now you're going to head to Oxford. Here was Jay Johnson after the game last night on this trip to Ole Miss this weekend for LSU against the defending champs.
Looking forward to it. Never have been there personally, and scouted them a lot over the last 2 years, and seen them play there and watch them on TV. And it's a good team that just has been a little bit unfortunate with their luck, whether it's injuries or a couple of things not going their way. And they're going to give us their best shot. That's for sure.
Ole Miss is 3-12 in conference play. They're terrible. There's no other way to say it. They're just not a good baseball team. Thought they were going to come into the season and be able to mash the baseball. The offense has been at times a bit sluggish, and of course they've lost Hunter Elliott. Do you remember early in the season when Kendall Rogers was here? He was talking about Hunter Elliott, and he alluded to the fact that it sounded like Hunter Elliott was not going to be back this year. Some of the updates from Mike Bianco are that they're kind of looking at maybe getting him back at some point this season. I haven't seen anything that would suggest he's going to pitch this week. I haven't seen anything that would suggest he's going to pitch this weekend.
It's possible. In some capacity is what Bianco has said as recently as last night.
Like he's alluded to that. I'll believe it I'll believe it when I see it. I'll put it to you that way.
I'm with you. I'm with you for what it's worth.
I don't even know. Again, I don't know that I believe Hunter Elliott's going to pitch this year. So, and I understand what Bianco said. He's sort of hinted at a possible return. I got to see it. It's one of those things where, okay, all right. I mean, but I need to see it. I need to see it manifest with him on the mound to actually believe we're going to see that. I don't know that that's going to happen this weekend. Either way, even if he does pitch, do you think you're going to see the level after being on the shelf for a month or longer than a month? The level that the guy was at the end of last year when he was peak, taking his team on a run through Omaha? Hard to believe, man. But this Ole Miss team is struggling. They're bad. It's a road series, and it's never easy to go win on the road in conference play. But you get Paul Skeens game 1, you should absolutely win it. And against that Ole Miss team, can you split games 2 and 3? Yeah, and you should. So go win another road series. All right, it's after further review. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Y'all, awful weather this past Saturday. I tell you every time, whenever it rains and it's bad weather, our phones blow up. It's just the nature of the business, right? Like, as many times I try to hammer this home, call us before you get water in your house. Let us come do the free, no-obligation roofing inspection. But inevitably, we put it off, and then it rains and it storms, and then you realize you got a roof leak, and then you call us. But listen, no matter if it's the smallest roof repair to the largest commercial roof replacement, we're thrilled to help. A Louisiana-based company that's been around in every corner of this state for more than 20 years now. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com, 318-225-337-504-985, wherever you are. We got people servicing near your area. As a matter of fact, just brought our guy Burton on in Lafayette. So if you're in the Lafayette area, call our 337 number right there at the top of the homepage at HUDCOroofing.com. Tell you every day, ignore the door knockers. Ignore the companies you've never heard of. Have you seen how many companies were so public, advertising all out and about, some national brands who would come into town after Ida, and they're all gone? Trust a reputable company that was here before the storm, will be here after. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. John Jancic is moving into an on-field role this year. We know that. He's taken on the special teams coordinator role, but he's also going to coach the outside linebackers. When he met with reporters on Tuesday, here was John Jancic talking about the opportunity to coach the outside linebackers.
You know, my experience is I've been fortunate that I've been a defensive coordinator, not only in this league, but, several schools. So I'm pretty well versed in coverage. I'm pretty well versed in pass rush and then pretty well versed in the run game. And I think that's that position. That's the outside linebacker position. You have to be fluid in your pass coverage. You've got to be able to rush the passer, and you've got to be able to defend the run game as well. So it's a really exciting position to coach, and it requires a really great skill set for the guys that we recruit at that position.
Here is the really bizarre thing about outside linebacker. You were so dang talented there. The guy who is going to be LSU's highest drafted player in next week's draft is B.J. Ojulari. He was your jack linebacker last year. Remember, when Ed Ogeron was here, you saw sort of this formative change defensively. Dave Aranda ran a 3-4 and kind of recruited to that. Ed, once Dave left, wanted to move to a 4-3, so you saw that transition to a more traditional 4-3 defense. And now Brian Kelly's here, and Matt House comes in, and you saw more of a change to more that 3-4 look. And so instead of hand in the dirt edge, you're looking at like that stand-up jack outside backer spot. And man, last year, that suits B.J. Ojulari. 6'3", 250. He's not Daniil Hunter. He's not hand in the dirt, get up the field edge, right? He's stand up, be super athletic, drop in coverage, flip your hips if you need to. It's suited Ojulari. It's why he had a great season. It's what he's going to play at the next level as well. Like B.J. Ojulari last year played in 11 games. Of course, he had some injury, so he missed a few games, so they sort of intentionally held him out. But in 11 games, he had 34 tackles, 8.5 for loss, 5.5 sacks. He was great. B.J. Ojulari was great. And the problem they had was they wanted to get Harold Perkins on the field somewhere. He was too green to play him in the middle, but they knew he could be athletic off the edge. But how did you get him and Ojulari on the field at the same time? Well, they figured it out, and Perkins played jack. And Perkins had last year 39 tackles, 13 for loss, 7.5 sacks. He earned freshman All-America honors. He was sensational. I mean, all of the conversations we've had about Perkins are all warranted. 14 quarterback hurries. Ojulari had 13 quarterback hurries. You had two amazing players at that spot last year. And you know Ojulari's going off to the draft, and you should be fired up because, man, you got Perkins coming back, and the thought is, great, man, now Perkins is your every down jack, but you're moving him inside. So your two amazing players at that spot last year both aren't at that spot this year. So it's a little more complex when you look at that jack position. But as odd as it is to say it, you're probably going to be deeper, and you're certainly going to be more experienced at that spot this year heading into 2023. First of all, here was John Jancic talking about how he is still working with Harold Perkins, even though Perkins has moved inside.
He's playing will linebacker for us in most of our first and second down packages. When we go to our third down package, Harold will come over and we'll talk about line stunts. He'll come with us with the D-line and the players that are in our third down packages and work line stunts and pressures and things of that nature. So it's mostly third down when, I get a chance to work with Harold.
So that's really interesting because, quite honestly, that's what we saw Perkins do last year. On obvious passing downs where you needed, or downs where you needed a rush, that's where Perkins kicked out and played the jack spot for the rest of the time. And so he actually becomes even more versatile now as a guy that is going to be your inside linebacker playing Mike, but they're also working him at the jack at spots as well whenever they may need it. What is also really interesting about that jack spot, last year it was Ojulari and Perkins. And they had to get, major credit to Matt House for figuring out a way to, despite their shortcomings, the lack of a rotation on the inside, some of the, obviously losing Mason Smith was so massive because he was going to be able to play inside or out for you. Finding a way to get Ojulari and Perkins on the field at the same time, all the things. Like, Matt House just proved his worth, his worth of his weight in gold. He's worth his weight in gold. That's it. I knew there was a saying there I was trying to get to. It got there. But now you look into this season, and you look at the depth on the interior, which we've talked about a ton. You've brought in 4 defensive tackle transfers. You're getting Mason Smith back, all this stuff. But look at the jack spot. Braden Swinson from Oregon. Long, athletic prototype, right? Ovi Agofu comes in from Texas, going to play a 6th collegiate season, who started his career with Brian Kelly, then went to Texas, and now is at LSU. A guy who has played a ton of football. And then you've got Deshaun Womack, who is, I hesitate to draw this comparison, but basically like this year's Harold Perkins, right? The 5-star, freakish, athletic edge guy in this class. So you got those 3 guys and Perkins on third down if you need him. All of a sudden you're deeper and more talented and more experienced, even than when you had Ojulari and Perkins, who were both awesome, but now you've got even more options. As we continue to talk about this LSU football team and why the expectations are where they are, this is part of the reason why. You were so thin a year ago and so reliant on just those frontline guys to stay healthy and be great. Mekhi Wingo had to stay healthy and emerge and be an All-America caliber player for you to be even respectable on the interior, right? Ojulari and Perkins had to stay healthy last year. And they did by and large, and gave you what they gave you on the way to winning 10 games. You're so deeper and have so many more options this year. It's fun. And look, we talked about Jancic, guy with that much experience, as he said, has been a defensive coordinator in the league, been a position coach in the league. He can certainly coach this position, and I think you're going to see all those guys be put in the best spots. Your defensive coordinator is a linebackers coach as well. So, man. All the production returning on offense, depth on defense, experience, a lot of reason to be excited. John Jancic talking some OLBs. That's outside linebackers, not offensive linebackers. Okay, let me knock out a break, y'all. We'll come back, do some Pluckers trivia. We'll check in with the Otter for little Otter locks. Lots still to do here as we're coming down the home stretch on Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
Now, brought to you by ProCharge EV. Our guys over at ProCharge actually are spending this week at the Clean Fuels Conference down at the River Center, literally just down the street from where we are right now. They got a booth over there. So if you are going to be at the Louisiana Clean Fuels exhibition, you can see our guys from ProCharge. Actually, there's Ryan Terrio smack dab in the middle of that picture. If you go check out ProCharge EV on Facebook, you'll see it right there. You can learn more about ProCharge. I want to continue reminding you, though, all this month, ProCharge giving away 3 free EV chargers plus the installation at the end of this month. So if you're a business owner or own any commercial building, make sure you go to ProChargeEV.com, ProChargeEV.com, hit the charger giveaway tab at the top of the page, and you can enter right now at ProChargeEV, ProChargeEV.com. Don't matter if you drive an EV or like them even. People do. They need to charge them. They might as well do it at your business. ProChargeEV.com, ProChargeEV.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Not only did she tell us, but this young lady, stand up. And this young lady
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Otter Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner. Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It is a great night to get by Pluckers because it's trivia night. That's every Wednesday, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Live action trivia. Get your team together. Go win Pluckers gift cards, Amazon gift cards, great prizes from retailers all over town. And to give you a little appetizer before Pluckers Trivia Night, we do it here on Wednesdays. Hit it, Muse, if you would. We quiz our guy, Matthew Muse. So, a little flavor of tonight's trivia. Muse?
And it normally goes swimmingly.
Muse?
Like, I'm really good at it.
You're terrible.
Hey. That's fair. I rarely get them right.
What did George Washington say? I cannot tell a lie. I am basically George Washington. I cannot tell a lie, Muse. You're terrible at this.
Yeah, it's not. It's really.
But I do tell you when I feel like you're going to do well. And I think you're getting all three of them. I do. I think you're getting all three of them.
You're normally wrong when you say that.
Normally when I say it, I'm saying it tongue-in-cheek, like, Muse, you're going to get them all. You're going to nail it today, Muse. But I'm telling you, I think you're going to get all three of these.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Here we go. Don't let me down, Muse.
Yeah.
After all, tomorrow is your day.
It's Thursday. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's April 20th.
It's just another day, Matt.
Someone said that your beanie was a big hit.
It was. People liked it. They thought it was pretty funny.
A big hit? You get it?
No.
Like a hit?
Oh. Aha.
With the rim shot?
Oh, yeah, I guess we could. That's what we have it there.
Oh, my God.
I just don't think it was funny.
Let's try it again. Someone on the text line said your beanie was a big hit.
Ah!
All right, it's radio. Play along. Here we go.
Comedy.
All right, Muse. Muse.
Yeah.
Which NFL running back missed the entire 2004 and 2006 seasons because of failed multiple tests that came back positive for cannabis usage?
God. I mean...
2004.
Yeah.
2006.
I'm trying to think of the best running back in the game at that time, and it's not going well for me at the current moment. And I think I know why I'm so bad at this, but we can get into that at a different time. I don't even have I really don't even have a guess. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Ricky Williams.
From the ashes.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Like a phoenix
Wait a minute.
rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
The Undertaker gift popping up out of the coffin. That was Muse right there.
It just hit me there. I'm not gonna lie. It came back to me.
It hit you.
This guy. Look at this guy.
Ricky Williams, 420 cannabis suspension hit. Get it? Okay.
Is this 420 trivia?
I bet you love that, Panama Red.
There you go.
Here we go. Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
What candy has used the slogan, "It's all in the mix"?
Ooh.
It's all in the mix.
Yeah.
What candy has used
It's
the
all
slogan,
in the mix.
"It's all in the mix"?
Oh. Ooh, it's all in the mix. Who is that? Is that M&M's? It's not. Look at this. Yeah. What is it?
What would make a convenient rhyme with "it's all in the mix"?
Twix? Yeah.
Twix.
Well, their whole thing now is like left, right, so I didn't really think about that.
Oh, man. It's disappointing. I thought you were going to nail it. Okay. Now, this
Twix
one...
are good, too. Very good candy. Ice cream bars, even better.
This is a layup. If you don't get this one, I give up. All right, Muse. Third and final question. Which TV show taught its viewers there's no hope with dope?
That could be so many. What do you mean?
I'm so old.
No, I mean, I have a guess.
No.
I just don't think that was the tagline of that episode. My guess is Saved by the Bell. Yeah! Okay. Yes. She was so excited, man.
That couldn't be so many. It was the whole cast going in unison, there's no hope with dope.
I know, but I mean, like...
When they put together the
80s,
whole...
90s sitcom.
No,
yes,
no.
every
Muse.
80s, 90s sitcom
Muse.
did a
Muse.
dope
Muse.
episode.
Muse. Okay. This is where my line about me being so old is relevant. Because anybody who lived through that knew that instantly. That was the whole thing. The Jesse, that I'm so excited. But that wasn't even that episode. That wasn't even that episode.
That was the speed. She was on speed there, right? Yeah, that was the speed episode.
She was taking caffeine pills.
Speed, yeah.
Whatever. There's no hope with dope is when, there was so they found a roach in the locker room, and then they found that the guy that they were all kind of like idolized was actually smoking weed, and then NBC came in and they did the whole infomercial thing, whatever, about don't do drugs and all, and there was no hope with dope, and that was the line at the end. That was no-brainer, but you got it. If only you could have thought what rhymes with mix and gotten Twix.
Well, that wasn't the question. See, when you asked the question that way, I got it. But that wasn't the question. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Matt. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
You're like the LSU baseball team.
Hey,
there you are.
They're pretty good.
You are. All right. Final break. We'll do some Otter locks when we come back to wrap up a hump day edition of AFR.
AFR.
Presented by New Orleans Flooring. Y'all get out to nolaflooring.com or go see our friends over at New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and on Airline Highway in Prairieville. Say it every day. Buy where the pros buy with New Orleans Flooring. Of course, it's where the installers go. It's where the home builders go, remodelers, investors, flippers, property managers, remediation companies, when their bottom line matters and they need their products at the best possible price so they can make the most amount of money. They go to New Orleans Flooring because with more than 1 million square foot of product in stock, they pass those savings on to you. Do you realize at most retailers, flooring retailers, that flooring product will pass hands 3 or 4 times before it gets to you, which means every time it does, there's a transaction, there's a price increase, which is then passed along to the end consumer, which is you. Not at New Orleans Flooring. They cut out the middleman and you save. Go to nolaflooring.com. Again, nolaflooring.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville or nolaflooring.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $15,000 off all new 2022 1500 SCA trucks. And all new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Remember, Pluckers Trivia. A lot going on. Pluckers Trivia tonight at both locations. T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea. Come on by and join us if you can't join us there in person. You can always watch Scone and Tea on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. All right, one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Pretty good, but could be better if, our Twins pitcher just wasn't so exhausted throwing 19 whole pitches last night.
Well, Otter gave us 6 plays last night. They were 2 and 4 last night.
Yep, 3 outs away from 4 and 2, and so I'm listening to the Red Sox broadcasters. There's Duran. We hadn't seen him yet this year. There's a 100-mile-per-hour slider. You can't hit that. Strikeout, pop up. But, with the 2-run lead in the 10th, Matt, 19 pitches is just way too much. The over-specialization of baseball. All right, I'm bitching. All right, let's move on. Let's get back at it. 11-day games in baseball. We got 3 games in NBA, and let's start. Here's the stat for you, Matt. 17 games in a row in the NBA playoffs / play-in that if you pick the outright winner, they cover as well. So 18-1 this year and last year, playoff play-in. You pick the winner, they cover 101-10.
Okay.
91%. So, all right, they just announced Ja Morant is out, but look, the Memphis Grizzlies have shown that they can play without him last year, in this year. This is they got to win at home. Look, this game is played by humans. They got the split on the road, a little bit of exhale spot, and a little bit of desperation. Desperation versus complacency. We're taking the Grizzlies plus 1.5 at home against the Lakers in the first game at 6:30.
Okay.
The bounce back, the higher-seeded team that lost their first game at home. How'd they do last night? Well, Cleveland bounced back in a big way, and so did Phoenix as well. Another situation tonight, the Bucks. Bucks is creeping up to 8.5. Get it as soon as you can. Was 6.5. Optimism in Milwaukee that Giannis will play either or not. I know it's not sustainable for the Heat. They shot 60% from the field in Game 1, 60% from 3. Both. That's not going to happen again. They're going to exhale a little bit again. Milwaukee to keep that trend going to lay the 8. And that was Memphis and Milwaukee, the 2 NBA games. And we're going back to a Major League Baseball.
Okay.
The Twin Cities. They can't run us off out of Fenway that easy. I know we blew that. I knew we blew that 2-run lead in the 10th. I know what the final record was last night, but so close to a 4-2. But we got the 2-4. Joe Nathan's been on fire this year. Chris Sale, not so much. So Twins again, laying the run line, coming back a nice price at Fenway again.
All right, so the Otter likes Memphis plus 1.5 even with Ja out. Milwaukee laying the 8 at home. It's 8 at DraftKings right now. And the Minnesota Twins on the run line minus 1.5. Where are you tonight, Otter?
We're just creeping down the road. We were at Doe's last night. We're at Roca Pizzeria. I guess tomorrow we'll be at we're going to be at Superior Grill. We'll be at Spoken Hub. We'll be at, Government Talk. I mean, we're just going to hang out on Government Street for the next week and a half.
It's a great place to be, man. Mid-City's come along a fantastic way. Roca's awesome, man. Y'all get by, see the Otter. Otter follows us in Baton Rouge if you're not in Baton Rouge online at 1045ESPN.com. Thank you, Otter.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, man. Have a great show. Of course, you can place those bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Make a $5 pregame money line bet if you're a new customer and get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. You just heard what the Otter said. I mean, tonight you got a couple of great opportunities. Milwaukee, he gave you Milwaukee laying the 8. All you got to do if you want to place that bet, if you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, bet on the Bucks money line, $5 money line bet. If it's, will give you $150 in free bets right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Plus, no sweat same-game parlays for everyone every day during the NBA playoffs. You got to opt in. Do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge. That's how they know we sent you. That's also how you unlock these great deals. So use the promo code Baton Rouge, $5 pregame money line bet. Get $150 in free bonus bets if your team wins during the NBA playoffs, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physical present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in required. One bonus bet issued based on amount of initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball. Terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right. It's been a good show. We appreciate you for being here. You miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. Golf.breck.org. All right, getting out of here. Going to head over to Oliver Twist for a little scone and tea. Muse, what did you learn?
Twix, it's all in the mix.
You said you had something earlier.
I substituted it out. That one was better.
I knew you had nothing earlier.
You don't know that at all.
I do know that. What was it?
Not important.
That's exactly what I thought. You had nothing. Knew you had nothing the whole time. Tomorrow's Muso Day, 420. Paulie, sorry, I was messing with Muso. I didn't get to yours. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Tell you every day, 29 offices across 11 different states with their precision measurement device calibration labs. You can learn more about everything they do at Michelli.com. Their weighing systems, the products and services, it's all there. They're an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory. If you don't know what that means, you probably don't need it. But if you do, you understand why ISO 17025 accreditation is so important, and Michelli offers it. Something else I want to stress. Michelli is hiring, not just in their New Orleans or Baton Rouge locations, but in locations all over the country. So maybe you're located outside of Baton Rouge or outside of Louisiana. Maybe you're looking to relocate. Go to the careers tab at Michelli.com. Michelli.com, hit the careers tab, and you can see all of the different ways that you can start your career with an innovative company primed for growth in every corner of this country. It's at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.